ultimately, I own policies within an asset protection trust right now. And that can keep them out of my estate so I don't have an estate tax when I die. But it still gives me access to the cash through something called the distribution trustee. Okay? So it's kind of like owning nothing but still controlling it. So
Which
it's
is a
great
great
for
place to
asset
be, right?
protection. Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. What if you no longer had to apply for a loan at a bank or go through the myriad of hoops to get access to your equity? What if your credit didn't determine your interest rates or access to cash? What if you could have a way to keep earning interest while you access your money? What if I asked a myriad of questions before we started the video? Let's see what the banks and big corporations do to store their money tax efficiently and safely, and how you can do this if you have a business or not, and how to handle it if you have both. What will happen as the dollar devalues if you're using the strategy of cash flow banking? What things should you be aware of and consider? All right, Stolba, we were in the middle of recording this and had a full-on power outage.
I know.
So here we go again.
Round 2.
Freaky. You worried about it, huh? It's daylight outside.
Well, it's dark in here.
Pants and I would have protected you, you know. Drew's over
thanks.
there. Yeah, Phoenix didn't even get excited. My dog's in here.
I know.
Yep.
So the question we have today comes from Nate.
I think you want to give a little shout out here.
Oh, yeah, we do. So Aaron is the third member of the Wealth Labs team, and his mom made these mugs for us. So shout out to her.
Lafayette, Indiana. There you go.
Midwest. Okay, so Nate's question. He says, I'm sure this question is going to be fun for you guys to nerd out on. You're going to be the nerdiest of the two of us. When were you the most nerdy in your life? Is it now? Or when you
Yeah,
were...
well, definitely to my 15-year-old. Mm-hmm. Although he thinks that my wife is creeping up to becoming more embarrassing. She's never embarrassed him before. You know, so yeah, definitely. I'm probably most nerdy now. I'm just so comfortable with who I am.
It doesn't even matter.
Like, whatever.
We all have foibles and like nerding characteristics about ourselves.
I still get nervous.
I feel nerdy.
When I went to the archery place for the first time, I felt these nerves. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing, and what if I don't shoot well?
It's kind of like the junior high dance where you feel a little awkward.
And now I'm homies over there. You know, walk in, they know my name, and yeah, we hang out, and when I shoot a bad shot, we laugh about it.
I love it. Let's see. I feel like I'm still nerdy, but maybe when I looked the nerdiest and was more socially awkward was probably 7th or 8th grade. I can like see the school picture, the lifetime school picture in my mind. It was. Do
you still have a copy of it?
Oh yeah. My mom has everything.
We need to see it.
Okay. I'll get the picture. I don't know. It's so nerdy. There's
a picture in my wedding video of Carrie standing next to this motorcycle, and whatever hat she's wearing, she looks like a boy. I thought it was a picture of me, and I'm like, I don't remember doing that. And I'm like, oh, that's Carrie. Like, it's as nerdy as it gets.
Yeah, I just remember, like, I felt good. I had a new shirt on. It was a button up, but it was a polo, like, so basic. School picture day, so I curled my hair, you know. And I walked into Mr. Copeland's art class. He was my favorite art teacher of all time. And he complimented me. And I was like, well, I'm just feeling like $1 million today. But the picture speaks otherwise. I look so insecure. I have these huge glasses. I'm just
Why'd you get rid
awkward.
of the glasses? I feel like you should be bringing those back in style.
I wear glasses on a regular basis.
Like when you're trying to
but not the ones that I wore in junior high.
You know the picture of me with glasses, the fake glasses?
Yeah, mine were real.
I was like in my early
them.
20s pretending that I was smarter than I was. I want to be your financial advisor. So
Trust
ridiculous.
this guy. No.
That's the one where I have the goatee.
Oh, yeah, on the DVD case.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah. We got to show a picture of that. I'll show
it's good when it's a DVD case.
That's true. It's hanging on the wall for everyone to see. We're going to put it in the video so you can see.
We love making fun of me. It's fine.
I'll see if my mom can get me a copy of that picture, and then I'll look at it and see if I want to put it in the video or not.
All right.
But you ready to nerd out?
Let's not kick the power. Let's get through this video this time.
We don't want to do round 3. Okay. Here's Nate's question. He says, I'm looking to build my real estate business to a Fortune 500 within my lifetime. I want to build my family legacy along this business. How should I set up my business structure where the business and my family can benefit from cash flow banking? Do these things have to be separate? And what he's referring to is ensuring the business, himself, his wife, his daughter, and his employees. So let's start there, and then we'll go into the second part of his question.
Yeah. So, look, banks hold a part of their reserves in bank-owned life insurance. So their policies on these executives that are high in cash value. Corporations do the same with their executives. You can see it on a K-1 form if you want to see where the premiums are going.
Okay.
And, there's bank-owned life insurance, there's corporate-owned life insurance. And so I really recommend you begin personally and maximize your personal coverage first.
Okay.
Overfund that properly. Even insurance on spouse and kids, because we're thinking about legacy, then worry about the business second.
Okay.
Now, there's some advanced strategies. Since he's going to be a Fortune 500, he'll want to look into private placement life insurance, which usually have to have $1 million a year minimum to get into that. So not
It's
a very
big
common
chunk of
thing.
change, yeah.
Or even premium financing,
Okay.
where banks or big institutions will pay your insurance premiums if it's a cash value heavy enough policy.
Wow.
So they finance it just like they might finance a home. I actually have one of those policies myself.
Woo woo.
On my wife, not even on me.
She is the gem.
Oh, wow. I like
Gunderson.
her. I like her. So I was thinking, like, we've been married for 18 years, and it's still so new and fresh because we've changed so much from the time that we were little pups when we got married.
But isn't that exciting? Isn't that what makes marriage so fun, is that you're always evolving and it's a new adventure?
I literally tell her almost every night, you want to stay the night? Are you sleeping over?
You want to have a slumber party pillow talk?
Makes me think you like the show Big.
Oh, I do love that show.
So you got corporate-owned life insurance, bank-owned life insurance, and personal. You want to do, like, I'm a partial to overfunded whole life policies.
Yeah.
So that has more cash value fueling it and less commission.
Okay.
It grows the death benefit. It gets paid up over a certain period of time. You have access to cash along the way. So maximize it on a personal level. I've got my personal policies, several on me, some on my wife, and on my kids. And then we did the premium financing later.
Okay.
And then we got the corporate policies later.
Okay. So number one, Nate should insure himself, then go to his wife, and then his kids. But what about his business and employees? Where do they come into this?
Well, I have some policies from the past on employees. I didn't get one on you, Stelba. I just figured, like, you're too stubborn. You probably wouldn't even let me do it. You'd be like, well, I want you making money if I die.
Hey, why not? Take the money. You'll do good with it.
But you can definitely do this for employees, and you could be the owner, because there's the owner, the insured, and the beneficiary, right? The owner can change over time. You can choose to give up that ownership or transfer it, like, to your kids. The insured's the one that always stays the same. And the beneficiary could change. It's who the money's going to go to. Could it go to a trust, to an individual, to a corporation? And so, ultimately, I own policies within an asset protection trust right now. And that can keep them out of my estate so I don't have an estate tax when I die. But it still gives me access to the cash through something called the distribution trustee. Okay? So it's kind of like owning nothing but still controlling it. So
Which
it's
is a
great
great
for
place to
asset
be, right?
protection. Right. So I've got policies on each of my kids. I can get however much on them has to do with how much I have on me and my wife. And my wife still has one term policy because we have a lot of whole life and the premium financing, but we just kept this one smaller term policy. And, I have all whole life, and then the kids are whole life. So there's key man policies that you can get when you have key executives, and those could be buying that person out if they die, so the money goes to the family, not the business, right? There's different kinds, cross purchase or stock redemption.
This is a little bit off track here, but when companies are saying, like, okay, we're letting go of the CEO or, for whatever reason, and then they get this gigantic bonus, even though they didn't, scale the company or they didn't meet the goals. Like,
the golden
is it
parachute.
because they had insurance out on the CEO, the CFO, or is that?
No, because the reality is they didn't die.
True. Yeah. Good point.
They likely had insurance because almost every major corporation gets key man insurance because it's a major loss when you lose that human capital to the bottom line of the company. So you'll have those key man policies.
I guess I'm always wondering, like, how these people, CEOs, CFOs, whoever, You've
done a terrible job. Here's your money on the way out.
You haven't met the goals. You dehumanized your employees.
Remember
and you're going to walk away with $60 million bonus.
72 people got $1 million bonuses after AIG had a massive cash infusion from the government after getting caught up in derivatives.
That feels so wrong to me.
It is.
It feels very unethical.
Yeah.
All right.
So So there we go. Inspiring people.
Oh, one question at a time. Okay. So, should we go into the second part of his question?
Yeah, let's
or do you have more to say on that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So here's where you were touching on it with the overfunded whole life policy. But he says, also, can I treat my overfunded policy like a line of credit to pay down properties acquired on creative financing to capture interest?
Yes.
To lend from, to live on. How can he use the funds?
Yes, he could do that.
All of the above.
Yep. You could take a withdrawal from the cash.
Yep.
I don't recommend that. It's treated FIFO, first in, first out.
Is there a penalty on that?
Nope. You put money in, whatever money you pull out first is the first money you put in. So there's no tax until you've pulled out all the money you put in, then it goes to your interest.
Okay.
But if you withdraw, it's hard to sometimes get money back in there. So the other option is you could borrow, but you're not borrowing like in traditional sense. You could go get a line of credit at another institution, and because there's collateral with cash, you might get a good interest rate. Some people do that. Or you could borrow from the insurance company. The insurance company says, hey, we'll use your money as collateral. We'll let it continue to earn interest. We're going to charge you an interest rate with that money as collateral. So a lot of times that's a wash.
Okay.
And so you can do that. You pay it back. If you don't pay it back, it comes out of your death benefit.
All right.
So yes, yes, and yes on those questions.
I love hearing yeses.
Cashflowbanking.com. Cashflowbanking.com.
Yeah.
Are politicians corrupt? Yes.
Ooh. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Lastly, this is the third part of his question. Lastly, as I build my credit limits, can I park cash from a line of credit or even alternative currencies like Bitcoin into a policy and keep it moving to bolster my cash value to protect from possible issues with the US dollar, or is that dangerous?
You can do it with private placement life insurance, where I saw someone fund that once with a racehorse. It didn't work out for them.
Okay.
But there's a lot more flexibility there. If you're with a mutual company, you're typically limited to the general fund and the cash value that's in there, but you could always utilize that cash to capitalize or invest in other things like we talked about.
Okay.
But you're not going to be able to, with most of those companies, the main majority actually have it in any different denomination, currency, whatever it is. So more of like the private placement, if you have substantial enough wealth where you could do some of those things. Now, are those things risky? Absolutely, unless you know exactly what the hell you're doing. I don't do them.
Okay. How much money does it require for someone to obtain like private placement?
$1 million a year is the lowest I've heard.
The lowest. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a big chunk of change.
Cash flow banking, $50 a month is the lowest I've seen.
Yeah.
That's how I started. $50 a month, Stelba.
$50.
19 years old. Just geeking away.
You were so mature, 19-year-old, investing your whole life
ways,
policy, $50 a month.
Very immature in other ways, though. Trust me. But at least in that way.
Give us a few examples. No, I'm kidding.
Want to master your money? Want to figure out the things that you could do to improve your finances? Click here and check out more videos like this on Money Matters.